My social circle was very tied to cars and motorsport and events and stuff. When I lost that license, my social circle just evaporated overnight. And kind of all the roles were allocated, and it got down, well, who's going to be CEO? It's going to be me. So I had to learn about business development and about sales and about marketing and HR and raising capital. Let's do it the right way and not go for the short-term money grab and then disappear in 12 months. Yeah, because it's going to have our faces on it. And if I'm going to do business in crypto long-term, we need to do something right now and not just something cheap and nasty. I was getting like 60 calls a day from different VoIP numbers all over the world. I think it was just like some automated Amazon service. So I was like, okay. They were trying to access my Instagram, my Twitter, my personal email, an email address I forgot I had. We're talking with a massive property firm here in the UK that they just want to start taking their fees in crypto. I've seen some amazing examples of NFTs that are so cool and so slick. And then we've got digital rocks, JPEGs worth 2 million. That's not a good example. Why is this broken thing over here so slow? Oh, because that's how they make all their money. They make so much money, like banking and financial services, that they make so much money out of being middlemen and keeping it to themselves. You don't need to understand every SegWit and every 1 and 0. That's not what it's about. It's about having part of your financial freedom outside of the existing financial system and onto the new Web3 financial system.
And that is the beauty of crypto. Where do you think the future of it is? Welcome to the Takeoff Experience, where I sit down with highly driven people to talk about their journey, their failures, and their successes. If you want to take off in your career, your business, your finances, or your mindset, then this podcast is for you. Welcome back to the Takeoff Experience. We got a very, very special guest in the building. We're going to take it back to crypto. We got Jeff in the building, who is CEO and co-founder of a crypto exchange. But I'll actually let him explain what it is in a second. But how are you doing today, Jeff?
No, really good. It's a bit rainy in London, as we kind of always expect.
Yeah.
Starting to cool down.
It is.
Nice. It's been a hot summer.
It's been a very hot summer.
But no, otherwise than that, enjoyed the travel in, made some calls, did some emails.
Yeah.
Keep busy.
Where did you travel in from?
Just in from working.
Okay.
Live out not really in the sticks, but it's close enough to London to be quick.
Yeah.
I live on the canal. I have a nice view of trees during the day, so I get a bit of zen and a bit of fresh air.
Okay.
And I can be in Waterloo in 25 minutes, so it's quite cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So why did you decide there insteed of like this city? You don't like the city life?
I lived in, I'm originally from Australia, as the accent comes and goes. Moved from the UK, moved from Australia to the UK in 2010.
Okay.
And came over here, lived in London about 10 years, loved it. I was in North London for a bit, South London for a bit, Battersea for quite a long time on the river there. And it was cool, but then it was, just area got a bit overpopulated, quite noisy, and just mathematically, the value started to drop off a little bit. So kind of did the maths and, wanted to go to something a little bit smaller because that flat was a bit too big. And just mathematically, worked out really, really cool. So
what do you mean mathematically? What does that mean?
Well, mathematically, you could pay, £1,500-1,800 for a nice one bed or an okay two bed. But we've got the top floor of a detached house in for like 1,200 quid. It's, detached house, never see the neighbor. She's in like Mallorca half the time. Short walk to the station. I live on the canal. So there's like boats and swans and ducks and trees. And my gym is 200 yards from the house. We just save a lot of cash to buy more crypto with.
Fair enough. That's a good answer.
It's a good time to be
quiet. We're going to talk a lot about crypto today. So actually, who is Jeff?
So obviously I'm Jeff. Nice to meet you. My background is I'm an engineer. I'm a tech guy. Started out and I was like pretty much the stereotype. Started my career behind a bar. I was a bartender and food and bev and you call them fruit machines over here. We call them pokies in Australia. So we did a lot of that stuff out of high school. Wasn't cut out for university, which is cool. Was really into my cars and my motorsport. Do you accumulate points over here or lose them? I can't remember which way it is.
For points for your
driving
cars.
license, yeah.
You accumulate points. If you get a certain, then you get your license. So in
Australia, we lose points. And I used to lose mine quite aggressively from very tiny speeding fines, followed by one very, very big one. And my social circle was very tied to cars and motorsport and events and stuff. When I lost that license, my social circle just evaporated overnight, which is quite...
Really? Is it what people didn't want to hang out with you anymore?
I've got heaps of money for cabs to get anywhere now, but it was kind of it showed how weak my social circle was.
Wow,
I think we'll kind of come back to that a few times through through the podcast on entrepreneurship and other stuff like that. So I took a year off driving. I lived in a flat on the beach with a lovely young lady that turned out to be a dancer.
Okay.
Still working and I worked at a casino.
Yeah.
But I was doing tech and cybersecurity. And that's kind of where I started my career, like literally jumping in the deep end. Was there about 5 years, used to do crazy hours, but I absolutely loved it. I mean, a casino, not just for the gambling bit, but just how the business operates and the numbers they deal with and just how efficient everything is, because they're effectively printing money.
Yeah.
And because they pay 50 cents on the dollar in tax, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, they measure their revenue on per square foot, which is just mental. So kind of got a really working in tech in that kind of business. I got to see what happens on the floor, what happens off the floor, what happens up in the high roller rooms, the finance. So all that stuff together was a really, really cool way to kind of launch my tech career.
Yeah.
In that year off from not driving and just saving cash and, figuring out really who I was and what I wanted to do, I had the opportunity when I was 25 to come over to the UK and do a long distance rally. And we drove a 500-pound Fiat Bravo we bought on the internet. And we drove it from London to Mongolia in 4 weeks.
Wow.
But all the way
really?
Yeah. And the whole idea was to get an unsuitable car, an unsuitable distance, to auction it off for charity. And we raised about the money we raised from our friends and family and selling the car. We raised about £6,000 for the Christina Noble Children's Charity.
Okay.
It was really great. Got all the way to the end, high-fived all our mates, and then kind of realized we didn't have a plan. We kind of planned to get to the end and then just figure the rest out. Yeah. Which kind of is a bit entrepreneurial as well. People, you just do. Yeah. I've heard a couple of your other guests as well. You just start by doing and you figure the rest out. So we had a visa to come back to the UK, came back to the UK, started working, doing tech roles. Found my way into a cool managed service provider, and I started looking after data centers, companies all over the UK, a few of them in Europe, did quite a lot of travel with that, and allowed me to get a working visa to stay in the country. And then after a few years, when, I was really kind of leaning into my career, I've been doing it for kind of 10 years now, I was good at what I was doing. I said I wanted to get into the operations side, I wanted to get into the sales side, and I just wasn't allowed. Yeah. So I started looking at what I wanted to do with my financial career. Okay. I'd tried some online businesses, I tried some affiliate marketing, I tried some trading, but where I kind of fell into and kind of understood from my engineering side, I suppose, was property. So I got into property. Yeah. Did my first few deals. I found out I was better at raising money than doing my own deals. So I just went and raised like £2-3 million for other people. Took a cut of some of those deals, bought my first bike. And then when I'd gotten off my working visa and I started working for one of the largest hedge funds in the world called SoftBank, they invested into like Uber and WeWork and all those massive companies. And I think I was about the 6th or 7th employee in London. And a year later, there was like 200 of us. Wow. So it was super high growth. There was, carte blanche, just get it done, get it built. And I was responsible for all of the tech and all the cybersecurity part of it. Okay. Still had the property business. And by that time, I was starting to dip in and out of crypto as well. Making content online, the security side of it was very easy for me. The wallet side of it was very easy for me. And then when a couple of my co-founders came to me in 2017, I think it was. I was sitting around a bar saying they wanted to take a very large position in crypto in pounds. How do we do it? I said, well, you can't really. There's nothing really good and scalable at the moment. Everything's in US dollars and everything's in euro. And they said, why not? So I opened my big mouth, and 4.5 years later, here we are with Coinpass.com as a FCA registered crypto exchange.
Wow. That's what a journey. Yeah. That's insane. Like, I'm speechless almost because you did so much. I'm like wondering, like, why UK? Why did you stay in UK? Yeah, it sounded like you had an exciting time in Australia.
Yeah, it was just an opportunity, really. I'd kind of, and this is where, we were talking on the way in, and I talked to other people as well, what they want to do and what their aspirations, why. And some people want to get rich to like buy that car or buy that house. And the more I've kind of gone through my different careers, I think I'm on my 4th or 5th. I can't really keep track anymore. But the things that my reason why and the things that are important to me now are different to what they were when I first moved over here. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. I've, fly to Germany for the weekend and come back and do Glastonbury and get the last bus back and all that kind of stuff. And I've thoroughly enjoyed that. And I think now in the part of the career that I'm at, I'm much more focused on either building businesses or helping other businesses grow through crypto and blockchain and other those kind of things. And they don't really revolve around cars and property and other stuff. They're more about experiences and travel and seeing stuff.
Yeah.
Because I could, one of my co-founders is in his 50s and he only bought his first house when he was 52 or something like that.
Really?
Because he was always on the business side and always building and networking.
Okay.
Et cetera. So I kind of went through a few different phases of wanting to travel, wanting to build cool tech, wanting to do all these kind of things in my tech career. And then when it pivoted to, I want to do something for me, that's where it started to kind of level up and kind of get a bit of scale to it. So
Okay.
I think as long as everyone's got a plan and got a open to a bit of flexibility, anyone can achieve whatever they want. And I think I'm living proof of that. I was just an engineer from Australia and I was a complete introvert. Never touched a stock, never touched a share. I've never done a single investment before 2014. So that was only 8 years ago.
Wow.
Never had a trading account.
What got you into it? Was it because of the company you're working for?
We were a small company, went to a medium company, went to a large company. And maybe it was my visa status, or maybe it's because the value I added as a project manager and as a tech engineer and stuff like that, they didn't want me to move out of that role. So I was making someone else wealthy. And I wanted to put my time into doing something for me.
Yeah.
And that started off in property.
Yeah.
And then it got into, running a property event once a month. So I ran a property event of 200 people as part of a network every month. So when everyone's like, can you do overtime Thursday night? No, I've got a meeting to run. I've got to stand up on stage in a suit and boot and be the MC and pretend to know what I'm talking about.
Pretend.
But it wasn't so much a fake as you make it. I just surrounded myself with people that I wanted to be like.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I kind of, it's kind of when we talk about poker as well. If you're the best poker player at the table, if you're the smartest or the richest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
And so I kind of went through different rooms through different stages, and that's allowed me to meet a lot of people, to learn a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and to get to where we are today, which is, middle of a bear market running a crypto exchange.
Yeah, it's crazy because you started, and this is a question I was wondering, what was going through your head when you decided or you suggested let's start a crypto exchange right after the peak in December 2017?
Yeah. So we were November, we launched in
2018,
August 2018.
Yeah, it was going bad, just going.
We were definitely at least 2 bottles of wine deep.
2 bottles.
Definitely. And it sounded like a really great idea at the time. And we thought, it was like a Jeremy Clarkson, you're talking like, how hard can it be? So, we there were no regulations at all back then. So we kind of just pretended like we were a regulated firm. How we do our KYC, how we onboard our customers, what we do in the background. That's kind of our value add that a lot of people don't see, which allows us to do our banking in a better way than a lot of other exchanges. We don't have issues with Barclays and NatWest and all those kind of things.
Okay.
People can move more capital through our platform in the UK than anybody else because of the way we set ourselves up and because we've never put ourselves in hot water doing anything dodgy or a bad token or anything other kind of stuff. So it's been more of a slower burn, but we've outlived a lot of other brands that haven't gotten it right.
Yeah.
I think it's a testament to our team and the way that we do stuff.
Yeah. So it sounds like, because you mentioned you didn't onboard other tokens to some, I'm not sure what hype tokens that have gone and come. I'd have to probably do some research on that. But it sounds like you were very diligent in the type of cryptos that you wanted to allow users to trade.
So the first year we only had like 6 assets, which sounds really, really boring. But Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP, Ethereum, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Expanded a bit further, got to 9, 10. And I think now we're still only at about 25 or so.
Yeah.
But they're the highest liquidity, so there's always really good pricing. The wallet support is there for deposits, withdrawals with our partner Fireblocks.
Yeah.
We could offer way more, but the pricing might not be as good because just like creating a pair, if it's against USDT or USDC, like a crypto pair is very easy to do. As soon as you want to pair it with like pound sterling or euro, you have other implications there. You have to clear it with the regulator, you have to clear it with the bank. Do they want pound sterling going into these kind of tokens? These are the other things we have to consider when putting these type of tokens forward. And we have a full, like a 5-page document list for complying tokens.
Okay.
And we'll be adding a lot more. We want to get to over 100 by kind of this time next year.
Okay.
But we want to fully match them to pounds and euros and kind of do it properly.
Yeah.
As soon as you start putting FX in the background, it becomes really messy.
What do you mean match pounds to euro? If you can explain that
for us
beginners.
So when you trade something, you're trading from a token or from a currency to another.
Okay.
Now from the user perspective, when you're deposit pounds onto a platform, whether it's your trading 212 account or your Coinpass account or your Hargrave Lansdowne, you're drawing from pound sterling into something, into Bitcoin or into Ethereum or into a stock or a share. what some other platforms have done, which really skews the pricing, is that you'll trade in pounds, but the real kind of trade pair in the background might be versus US dollars. So really you're going from pounds to US dollars to something else.
Right. Okay.
And that increases the price for everybody. There might be a bit of what they call slippage in between.
Yeah.
For a small trade, 50, 100 pounds, you don't really see that slippage.
Yeah.
It might be 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent. You trade something over like 10 to 50,000 pounds, those spreads start to widen quite savagely.
Yeah.
And that's where people essentially get ripped off. Because they're not trading in pounds to Bitcoin, they're trading through two other pairs without even knowing.
Right.
And that's where we've seen a few competitors die and fail for not having competitive pricing, but obviously not managing their risk in the background properly. So because of the way we do our banking, because of the way we do our compliance and risk, and we're able to give those good prices to people because they're trading in the correct token, we've got a very high customer satisfaction with what they get.
Okay.
And when they buy that token, they can withdraw it off the platform and do as they like. We don't handcuff people.
Okay, so it sounds like you allow people to trade from pounds, obviously here us in the UK, with that
with
crypto.
The digital asset, whichever one it is. Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
So
they're not having to go through like pounds, USD, Bitcoin, for example.
Yeah, but some of those ones are hidden to the user in the background. They might think they're trading pounds.
Okay.
And they'll still get that Bitcoin. There'll be a bigger gap in the middle.
Yeah.
So they might pay an extra, it might not seem like much, like 4, 5, 10, 20 pounds more. But as soon as you trade over a very high number, like you buy £5,000 worth, you might pay like £200 in fees, which adds up really quickly.
Why did you and your co-founders decide to take that approach rather than quick money grabs?
We wanted to make a platform that was going to last. We knew the way that blockchain is a global technology, and that's there's a lot of layers to it, but the only way the regulator was going to, put a cap on it or trying to, keep it safe for everybody, because the regulator is there to make a market fair and make a market approachable for everybody. So it's not manipulated and it's not this and it's not that. If we built a platform that was going to, stand the test of time, we had to have some sort of regulatory support. So with the FCA, they hadn't had the regulations yet. So let's pretend like we're a regulated platform now. Let's do it the right way and not go for the short-term money grab and then disappear in 12 months. Yeah. Because it's going to have our faces on it. And if I'm going to do business in crypto long term, we need to do something right now and not just something cheap and nasty. So we took that approach and tried to make proper, pound of Bitcoin pairs, pound of Ethereum pairs, have good pricing, have, fair and competitive fees. We're not the cheapest on the market. That's fine. We're definitely not the most expensive. I think we're like 30, 40% cheaper than Coinbase.
Okay.
But in that, we still have business costs. Can't do everything for free. We have a compliance team. We have a support team that are there 24/7.
Yeah.
We've got the security team to make sure everyone's assets are safe. We've got the developers. There's a team of like 40 people in the background that people don't see. And all of those things combined to, we're still only charging 30 basis points, which is like 0.3% per trade. So every £100 we make 30p.
Yeah.
So we're a volume.
It's not a lot, is it?
No, it's not a lot. So it's a volume-based business.
Yeah.
And a lot of the ways that businesses scale that way is they run promos or they add more tokens and more and more and more and more because you're still a volume-based business.
Yeah.
How we've kind of curbed that is we have a cool product. It's got a cool UI. But the service and support and getting your money back to your bank is something we excel at.
Yeah.
So we have customers coming back and back and back again and again, all the way from 2018 till now, and they've always been with us.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm quite proud of.
Wow. That's exceptional. And did you, when you first launched it, were you the only sole engineer?
No,
you build?
I actually inherited. I went from being a cybersecurity engineer to being CEO. So when I was saying I started a new career, my fourth career is when I started this, because we're kind of divvying up the roles. Who's going to do this? Who's going to do this? And kind of all the roles were allocated, and it got down. Well, who's going to be CEO? I was, oh, shit, it's going to be me. So I had to learn about business development and about sales and about marketing and HR and raising capital and cap tables and dealing with investors and all the other stuff no one else wanted to do. But it was I found it really exciting because it's a new skill. I like learning new stuff always. But it allowed the guys that are really, really good at their job. My CTO, he's been in network development and software security and that kind of stuff for his whole career, 20 something years now. My COO was in regulatory and electronic trading for 24 years. And he'd been at like Goldman Sachs and MF Global and those really, really big companies. And he was actually an old client of mine. Yeah. And when I pitched him the idea, he's like, would you like to come on and be an advisor? And he's like, I advise you not to do it. I said, well, come on and be a co-founder instead. And he's like, okay.
What?
Because he's like, there's no regulatory environment. you're going to get crushed, blah, 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 blah. And I said,
Wow.
well, this is what the competitors are doing, and this is what we could do. And it's like, okay, no, I think you got something.
Okay, fair enough. You
And
convinced.
so I kind of convinced him, yeah. So he advised
Wow.
us not to do it to begin with. And then I gave him an audio book, gave him a couple of books,
And
came back to me.
Look where we are with
Yeah.
crypto.
And we have, I still have in a frame on my desk at home, I've got the original little A5 doodle of like what business plan and a dodgy drawing, what the infrastructure would be, and then some of the fee gen at the bottom. I've still got that in a frame from like 2018 with like a wine stain on it and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But the bottle went on it. 'Cause, yeah.
So as CEO, what's been like the favorite and the least part? Like, what's your favorite part of it, and what's the part that you've not liked?
Most favorite part is definitely product. I mean,
Yeah.
even as a CEO, you're driving forward a vision of what my take on the market is. And my take on the market is we're at a turning point in tech and finance. You know, the first time I ever used crypto for a payment was actually I sent capital to myself.
Okay.
We had a very, very first world problem in Australia. We've had a farm for 25 years. We have a pool on it. And they changed the law saying you have to have a pool fence. And I said, you know, if a toddler could stop kids falling in pools, which I never want to see a kid fall into a pool ever. Never ever want that to happen. But if a kid can walk across, 10 acres of land and fall into a pool, there's a bigger problem than my pool. You got to dodge like foxes and cows and all that kind of stuff on our land to fall into a pool. So we had to put a pool fence up. My mum's getting towards her 60s. She loves traveling. I said, well, I'm making money now. I want to take care of her. I want to pay for it. So I needed to send like £10,000 back to Oz to like do it properly. So et cetera, et cetera. So I'm investing into the property. Barclays was going to take like 7% and it was going to take a week. And then an FX provider could do it in 2 days, but wanted this kind of percentage. And I was like, well, I could send it to myself using Bitcoin in like 10 minutes for like 30p. Why would I waste my time on these clowns? So I actually, using my Australian bank that I still had, I signed to an Australian exchange. I sent the Bitcoin to myself and I had it in my bank within 2 hours or something like that. I was like, why does it still take so long? Why is it still, it's 2017, 26. Why does it still take so long? What's the big deal? Even investing in regular stocks and shares.
Yeah.
I did a trade with my ISA the other week on Hargreaves Lansdown. It took 5 days to clear 30K worth of trades. I'm like, why? Because it's got to go through this person and check this. It should just be a trade. Why can't it just be matched? Why has it got so much garbage in between?
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, well, my vision of the future is, you can have your assets and you can have them self-sovereign. You can take care of it. You can be your own bank. You can move that asset between any platform you want, anywhere, anytime, and you can buy and sell, or you can loan it and leverage it and get a yield. And that is what it's going to be. It's going to be like, if I sent you an email, I'm not going to say, did you get my email on SMTP port 25? It's an email. And now we don't even think we think the internet and Wi-Fi are kind of the same thing because of the way that it works so seamlessly. Crypto and blockchain are going to be so seamless across everything. Yeah. We're just going to see our ID in our wallet with a thumbprint, where it's going to be on blockchain and it's going to be recoverable and immutable and no one's going to be able to take your data and it'll be nice and private, blah, 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 blah. That's what the future of blockchain and crypto and finance will be, but it's going to take time. So from a CEO point of view, having a vision of what I think the market's going to be in 5 to 10 years, I have to bake that vision into our team, into our culture, into our product, into our marketing. And it is a very specific art you have to kind of master and spinning kind of plates and getting the right bits of information in the right place in the right order. And it's not just as easy as moving a couple of pixels around a screen to build a product. Yeah. But everything that I think the market's going to be is baked into kind of every part of the business. I think that's the hardest thing. And one of the most enjoyable things to see it kind of come to life. Yeah. We just launched our new platform recently, Coinpass 4.0, because it's our 4th birthday. So it's a very easy marketing campaign.
Congratulations.
What are we going to call it? 4. Call it 4. Had a different name internally. It was called Project Grogu because it was like the little Jedi that's going to be the big Jedi. Because you need to call it something.
Star Wars reference.
You had to call it something, right? Yeah. So that's probably the most enjoyable thing. Seeing an idea come to life with a team of 40 people is a very, very hard thing to do, and we're a remote first company as well. So we had an office throughout the first 4 or 5 months when we started out. We used it like 4 hours a week. Okay, like we just don't need this. Yeah, it's just we're on Slack.
So pioneers in a remote working space.
Yeah, so we work on Tottenham Court Road for about 4 or 5 months. We're hardly using it, and then we started hiring people from all over the world, not only for cost, but also because we were just finding for certain roles, we're finding better talent overseas.
Yeah.
Like, well, why do they have to be here? We do tech, we have video conferencing, we have Slack, we have all this cool stuff. Why do they have to be sitting here?
Yeah.
When I could have a super talented person that's just as good, if not maybe better than what we can afford or what we can source locally.
Yeah.
We've had some really top guys, and some of them are still with us from 2018 as well.
Yeah.
One of our support guys, I think he lives in Malaysia, or is it in the Philippines? I can't remember. But he chooses to work the UK time zone because he's just had a newborn, and he takes the night shift.
Okay.
His wife works during the day and he works at night, and he gets to work at home, and he has his kids literally sitting beside him for 8-10 hours a day.
Wow.
He loves it, and he's an absolute star. So that's probably one of the coolest bit. But then on the flip side of that, the hardest part, stuff I don't like, is the HR side, having to find good talent and retain the good talent. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to let people go as well.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the least fun things we have to do, is when someone comes on and you set them up and do all the onboarding stuff, and pour a lot of your time and your energy and your passion into it, and they're just not into it. Yeah. And so there's a bit of one thing I hate is waste. Yeah. So I try to not trying to have any waste in my life. Yeah. And that comes down to time as well. I try not to waste time. And when I put 2 to 3 months into someone and give them absolutely everything I've got, and they either don't get it or they want to leave or they don't get it, don't perform, that's really, really tough. Yeah. That's the least fun part, I think. Out of
How are you dealing with that? Like, because I'd imagine, do they have to have like an interest in crypto? Do they have to have an interest in the business? What is it that you're looking for that shining star?
Not really, because we've had engineers come in that have never touched crypto before, and they don't deal with the blockchain part of the business. They might deal with the mobile app part of the business, which is the same as building any other mobile app. It's just the numbers are different. So in the marketing team, you can teach someone about crypto or blockchain on a simple level, because we're not trying to make it complicated. Yeah. Because on the crux of it, if you want to just buy 100 pounds of Bitcoin, you can do it very easily. You don't have to understand wallets and SegWits and miners and all that kind of stuff. You can really get into it and start, go down the rabbit hole and really blow people's minds with what's possible. Or you can do the simple stuff. So we like to market simple, and people understand basic concepts very early, and then they start to rabbit hole by themselves. Yeah. But sometimes the pace of this market is not for everybody. Yeah. Twitter's always on fire. Instagram's always on fire. TikTok is ridiculous. Making good quality content at speed and just the pace you have to maintain. It's crazy. As a small team, as a startup team, going against big boys all the time, you have to have a bit of thirst and hunger to want to move fast. Yeah. And I always say, you can make mistakes, and that's fine. I mean, I still make mistakes. I'm not perfect. But we encourage the team to kind of fail as fast as possible so you can get to the successful bit. And a lot of people they trip 1, 2, 3 times and they're not interested in tripping anymore. Yeah. So it's not for everybody. And that's fine. I don't hold anything against them if they don't perform. It's not for them. Yeah. Or some people just lose interest and they want to move on to something else. Yeah. And crypto's not for everybody. Startups aren't for everybody. Remote only is not for everybody. Some people have come into this saying, I don't want to be in an office anymore. I want it from home. And then 2 months later, they're like, I'm going to go crazy in my flat because I don't have anyway. They have the mental fortitude to take that time away. Yeah, I had a therapy session, a coaching session, I can't remember. And someone was like, "How often do you go outside?" And I went, "I haven't been outside today." When's the last time I went outside? Shit, and it was 2 days ago. Wow, because we were just doing this insane push on a marketing campaign. And I think I've been outside twice in 2 days or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, what? Go outside and look at a tree. And I'm like, why? And they go, just go outside and look at a tree. And I'm like, okay. So I try and go outside and look at a tree every day because trees give off really good energy. And I'm fine, try it. And so some of that stuff, people aren't really, they think they really want the 100% work at home, save cash, don't get on the tube every day. But you need to have those boundaries. Not everyone's dedicated enough or robust enough to have those boundaries to be a remote only worker. So
setting it.
It takes a talent to do it. Yeah, definitely. Something I've had to do it myself as well because I was at casinos and then data centers and then Mayfair and then going to working at home for 5 years. It's been a massive adjustment.
It definitely must have been, right? Yeah, a very social setting, especially like a casino is.
I mean it's 24/7. You get 50% off all my food and drink, and I used to finish at midnight. And a bunch of guys that would finish their restaurant work, their hospitality, they'd come to the casino. We'd have late dinner, a couple of drinks till 3 a.m. because I was getting up at midday every day when I was on my midnight shifts.
Yeah.
Or if I finished my graveyard shifts at 8 a.m, there was a bunch of guys that I knew that were either security guards or DJs, and we'd all go to the gym together or go to the beach in the morning and then go home. So you have to have a bit of an adaptability to it. Not only if you're going to be a startup founder and start a business and work from home, you have to have a very strict routine of when you get up, when you go to bed, when you go outside.
Yeah.
What are you doing for your fitness? What are you doing for your creativity? What are your actual hobbies? You have to have something, because I went down the road, especially in COVID, just 100% work. I need to grind this. I need to make it work. The more hours I put in, the better. Following the Elon Musk way of working, or the Gary
yeah,
or whatever.
Crazy, right?
It's crazy, and it's just not sustainable.
Yeah.
Something will break, and it'll be either your health or your head.
Yeah,
one of the two. So that's probably the hardest bit. The staff bit, the culture bit. You've got to pull people through the screen to want to engage. A lot of guys just want to be left alone to code cool stuff, and you have to accept that. So it's very dynamic in all of my responsibilities and all the things I have to put my heart and soul into.
Yeah.
And people, I think, is one of the hardest bits. Not because I'm antisocial, but because every single person's different.
Yeah.
And you have to take care of your team.
Yeah. I'm glad that you said that you have to set boundaries. I think you're right. It's definitely very, very important that you set boundaries in your working life, in your personal life, in all aspects of your life.
Yeah.
And I like that you referenced Elon Musk, because a lot of people try to use him as like sort of an example of, if you do what he does, you're going to get instant success. And I feel like there's so many different ways for you to get success.
The last 5 years as well. I mean,
exactly. Exactly.
No, I think it's a bit of give and take. You can be driven and you can be laser focused, but I suppose in that as well, you will run out of work to do at a high level very quickly.
Yeah.
You should really be following something like the 80-20 rule. 80% of your peak performance is going to come from 20% of your time.
Yeah.
If you're really good at finding deals and leads, just find deals and leads, get someone to do the rest.
Yeah.
When we did our first investment round, who's going to be your first hire? Marketing. I went, new HR. And we've got the most Top Gun, amazing HR admin who's been with us from, for the last year and a half or so. And we wouldn't have built the team we have now without her, because I can't do it. I'm not a HR professional. She did our policies and our contracts, everything else, the sourcing, poaching people from other companies on LinkedIn, all that kind of good stuff. That's not my skill set.
Yeah.
So finding the right people for the right job to do the stuff that you're not good at is definitely the first thing to do. Even if you're a solopreneur and just having a PA to do some lead gen or take your emails off you or something, just pay the right people to do the right thing.
Yeah. And
then do what you're really, really good at. I've still got too many hats now. So I could easily use another 10 people on each of the teams and stuff.
Okay. To do what exactly?
Probably more on the product development, definitely more on business dev.
Okay.
Having people to report in and delegate to is the only way you can scale.
Yeah.
You can't build, some of us, they can build a multi-million-pound business on their own, and that's great, but at what cost? If you don't travel, you don't see your family, you don't see your friends, it's kind of all for naught. And that's something I had to come to grips with a lot during COVID, because I'd kind of worked my ass off for a very long time. I was like, cool. But we went from my first job with the tech company, and you had to ask permission to go on holiday, and you had to somehow afford it in the same period of time. So you had to be very strategic with saving up your money and then asking permission, and then hopefully they can happen at the same time before you book a flight. And then I was contracting for the hedge fund, and I was getting paid by the day and making good coin, and now I can expense all my lifestyle off it, and it was awesome. I loved it. But every day I'm not working, it cost me money. So you go for like 3.5 weeks to Canada, and it's not a 5K trip, it's like a 10K trip, because that's 5K I'm not earning now. And then I get to this, great part of my life where we've got a team, and the platform's 24/7, and all the onboarding's automated, and all the trading's automated, and all the stuff, and all the great support team, and great marketing team, and great devs, and I can run the business from Australia. Great, that's something I've always wanted to do, is have an international business I can run from anywhere in the world. And then COVID hits, and now you can't go home at all because no one can. Actually, you can't even go outside. That was a really tough thing, because what if I have a family issue?
Yeah.
I have a spare credit card with like 15K on it that I never touch in case I have to jump on a plane tomorrow. And now I can't even do that. It's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I think the other part that a lot of people neglect to mention is the mental agility I think you have to have for any sort of remote working, for starting a company from scratch, for all the, not negative you get, but all the stuff you'll inevitably miss out on.
Yeah.
If you like going to the pub every Thursday or going to a club or something with your mates, you got to be willing to give that stuff up.
Yeah.
Or going back to Australia whenever you want. I can kind of do that now, but flights are ridiculous. So yeah, I think it's that mental agility bit is something that I'm still, I think to this day, still working on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think even me, like, you know, I'll say I've been an entrepreneur for 2 years, and I've switched a lot, and now I'm focusing mostly on the podcast. And I do agree, there's a lot of emotions involved in this business.
And it's not really about burying it. I think it's about being happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finding happiness in what you do.
Yeah.
Having a passion for it. Having a really good peer group around you. You know, like I said, you're not being the smartest guy in the room or the most successful, but surrounding your people that are in that same community.
Yeah.
So when I see my social group here in London, we're talking crypto, guys are doing different stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, after this, I'm going to dinner with a guy. I run a centralized exchange that's registered with a regulator.
Yeah.
And he's hardcore on the decentralized.
Oh, really?
Side,
okay.
Hardcore privacy, anti-government.
Yeah.
You know, all that kind of stuff. And we're really, really good mates based on blockchain and crypto and everything. Even though we're at complete opposite ends of the market.
Wow.
So it's quite funny.
Wow, that's insane. And can you take me through your first year? Like
This year
in exchange?
Yeah.
What that was like, how you felt? Was it stressful, not stressful?
Yeah, so the first year we kind of knew we wanted to do it from December 2017, and I was still at SoftBank. We kind of registered the company first. We put our own money in, which was very woof for a startup. So we did our own money first. It was all our capital on the table. Hired 2 developers. You know, I got some credits for Google Cloud and IBM, I think it was. So that was kind of,
I like the fact that they do that to help businesses.
Get the startup credits, yep. I was still at SoftBank at the time. I got flagged by compliance for my name popping up on company's house without permission.
Oh no,
that's fine. They go, "What are you doing? Is that blockchain and crypto?" They go, "It's fine. Don't worry about it."
Really? What was it? Because it's not regulated?
Well, no, because it was unrelated to any investment they were doing.
Okay, cool.
You know, they had basically a blacklist, and they didn't tell you the companies that were on the blacklist. But if you wanted to make an investment in your ISA or an investment on a trading platform, you had to actually clear it with compliance first in case they were like investing in Nvidia for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I would not be able to make an Nvidia stock trade or something like that in any platform.
Yeah,
because there might be insider knowledge that I get from inside the fund. So there's quite strict on what we did.
Yeah,
and that was a lot of part of my job at SoftBank was keeping data in the right place. Yeah, unleaked.
How did you navigate that conversation? Because a lot of people are trying to start their side hustles or businesses whilst they're working for companies. I am in that position, but I know a lot of people get nervous about that.
I would say, you know, keep it to yourself until it's successul.
Great advice.
Because you know you're making your employer rich now, and they depends who they are, might see it as a threat that your time is split. And that's where when I stopped doing overtime at one of my jobs, like, why are you're all dressed up on a Thursday? I said, yeah, I'm going to an event tonight. Going to an event, meaning I was running the event, but they didn't need to know that. And then it was like twice a month. They go, you go to a lot of these events, mate. Yes. They don't need to know anything, that I'm investing in property, that I've getting a very crap London salary. I raised 1.2 million in capital this year, not for any of my deals. I raised it for other people. But that they didn't really need to know. Yeah. And I think going from a 9-to-5 job to a side hustle, there's a very big shift in responsibility, and it's not for everybody. But I think if you can replace your 9-to-5 4 hours a day, I think you're doing something right. Yeah. And if you can do that and also have a bit of a team kind of filling you in the background, then I would weigh up how long you need to actually quit that 9-to-5. Yeah. For some people, I would almost say, if you try the side hustle stuff first, see how you go as a business owner. Because if you're crap with money, you're not going to be good at business. Yeah. Very, very simple. Go be like a contractor first. So you have a limited company, you're a consultant, you have 1-2 clients, you get way better reward for your time, but now you can also expense a lot of your lifestyle costs. So your phone, you travel, food, whatever you're doing, internet, subscriptions, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Some people can't even bring themselves to pay £15 a month for a subscription for something to run part of the business. You need to kind of train yourself into a business mentality first, and then you can go and really start to scale it. So I think there's definitely a mindset jump you have to do. Yeah. And basically I wanted to get more greedy with my time, and that's why I chose to do stuff out of hours and then weekends. And then, but the SoftBank bit, I was doing 2 hours in the morning before work. I was doing research or typing emails or contracts during my lunch break, and then doing another 2 hours at night. So I thought, what's the difference between a 9-hour day and a 15-hour day? Nothing. So first 8 months when we were building the platform in 2018 before we went live, was super busy, super stressful. I was doing 9 hours a day or something at SoftBank, and then another 4 to 5 on the platform. Wow. Random Teams calls and random Slack calls and that kind of stuff. And then when we finally launched it, I think 2 weeks before we launched it, we knew at least one of us, aside from the developers, had to be full-time. And that was me, because they were asking me to go full-time for a while. And I kept saying no, because I knew I was going to do this. And when I handed the notice in, they said, "What are you going to do?" And so I'm going to launch my crypto platform. And they were like, "Awesome. Tell us how it goes." Because SoftBank was a very entrepreneur, startup heavy kind of company. Okay. They even let me I said, "When are you going to raise investment? If we can help you at all, let us know." So we could write me a check. And I went, "No, we're not going to write you a check." But they did let me come back and pitch to the deal team, which is quite cool. So I kind of came back in like 4 months later, and like the tech guy was like pitching to the deal team in like the biggest, baddest boardroom we've ever seen. So that was really, really intimidating, being on the other side of the desk, but quite cool to have a little bit of, admiration for what I was doing. And actually, these guys gave me really good feedback, chopped down the deck, make this simpler, sent me a bunch of examples. It was really great to have, £100 billion hedge fund help you, critique my pitch deck, which was quite amazing. Yeah. Once we launched it, I basically went from, I've got 4 hours a day to do stuff, to now I've got the whole day and the whole night and the whole weekend. And I found myself slacking off quite a lot, because you're like, well, I've got all this time now. I've got heaps of time to do stuff. But now you've really got to boil down to, what do I need to do now to get users in the door, to get the next product launch, to get the new feature. You start project managing your time and deliveries and deadlines and schedules, and you've got to hit numbers to grow. So we were measuring as much as we could, and we boiled it down to what's relevant. And filling that time was hard to begin with. But then I think as we kind of got into more, trying to define the strategy and execute the strategy, actually spending time planning, that's where it started to really kind of take off a bit. Trying to speak at events, trying to do more podcasts, trying to get our articles out there and trying to push them properly, get a proper SEO guy on there, get a proper web guy on there. And that's where it started to kind of self-fulfill and started to snowball a little bit more. Okay. And we didn't fit. The more we kind of did on that, the more we planned and monitored and fed back and kind of built this bit of a feedback loop, we started to become a bit more independent of what the market was doing. So Bitcoin's down, people are still buying and selling. Bitcoin's up, people are still buying and selling. Yeah,
and that's what you want.
Yeah, that's what you want. As soon as you're kind of at the mercy of the market, that's where you're at risk of falling over. Yeah. From it was your last podcast or 2 podcasts you had, the property guy? Yeah. Yeah. A couple of my mates at the moment, they have to turn their phone off because they've got too many inquiries for rooms up in the Midlands. So they have HMOs, they've got 7 or 8 HMOs. They get 35 phone calls in a day about like 2 rooms. And I'm like, mortgage companies are more than happy to give mortgages out, but they're not taking new applications because they can't process them fast enough. So it's like, well, is there not enough? Clearly there's not enough property because we're on an island and you can't make an island bigger. Yeah. But there's clearly a housing shortage. If one of my mates who's not, a big property agency, he's not a lady, he's a solo guy outside of Birmingham, in a suburb outside of Birmingham. He's got 7 properties. He gets 35 phone calls in a day about 2 rooms. Like, wow, there's a very heated market. Yeah. And I think as soon as that cools down again, 2 years ago, he was struggling to fill rooms. So wherever the kind of equilibrium in the middle, if you can run a business that's scalable, that has clients coming in the door, that you can build a wait list and you can kind of be market agnostic, then you'll do really, really well. Yeah. And it's taken us time to do that with such big competition in crypto. But it really depends on how you differentiate yourself, I suppose.
Yeah. How do you feel about your competition? Are you intimidated by them? I guess Coinbase have been around for a while.
Yeah, Coinbase is kind of the OG. They're like 2014. Yeah. Everyone, they've got a good platform. They're massive. Everyone loves to hate them. Yeah. Which kind of works for us. Support's absolute garbage and the fees are huge. Yeah. So they kind of get the lazy investor that kind of just goes with what someone told them to do. Then you've got not so much in the UK. There's a couple of smaller guys in the UK than us. But where I think the market's different from 2018 to where it is now is we have to be a global business, not a UK business. So we do 30 6 countries or something like that, UK and Europe and a couple of colonies. But we don't do Australia, we don't do Asia, we don't do America, and you got your Binances and your Krakens and your, they're massive exchanges that have done like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of fundraising. We haven't done that.
Yeah.
We haven't had the scale or the timing or this. And we, for a long while when we were going to fundraise and then we didn't do it, and we just made revenue. And as we made more revenue, we hired more people. So we did it kind of the small business way. And every time we go to raise money, it was, you're too small, how are you possibly going to compete? And they say no. And then a year later, we're still here. So
okay,
we can kill.
Interesting.
We still self-fulfill, and we're still here.
Yeah.
Because of how we do stuff differently.
Yeah.
We don't charge the cheapest fees. We're definitely not the most expensive.
Yeah.
But people get a response from a DM within like 5 minutes. They get a response from an email within 30 minutes. And other platforms just can't match that.
Yeah.
Because I came from a service-oriented background, from the casino to the data centers to everything else. It's always been service and speed. And I think in this day and age, if you don't get a reply in a few minutes, people just get really nervous about what they're doing. And crypto is one of those such new things.
Yeah.
There's not enough people in crypto. There's too many bots.
There's too many bots.
Yeah.
And actually, talking about bots, right? I think one thing in crypto that a lot gets quite a few people concerned is being hacked. So I've got 2 questions for you. How do you, I know it's difficult, it might be difficult to answer. How do you ensure that you protect your customers as much as you can? And also, I read an article about you being targeted as well. If you want to talk us through how that happened.
I got targeted. What, the company or me?
No, you.
Oh, that one. Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
So the customer assets bit. So if you talk about the crypto side, like keeping users' crypto assets safe. So people that leave capital on the platform, it's completely safe. We work with a wallet infrastructure partner called Fireblocks.
Okay.
One of the largest wallet infrastructure platforms in the world. Yeah. Crazy secure. The way the keys are broken down and stuff like that. I don't have access to anything. Our ops team have access to only a certain level. And the one thing we did differently to other platforms is how other platforms have been hacked. Everyone from Binance, Crypto.com, all of them had major leaks because they automate every outbound transfer, regardless of the size. And that's super dangerous.
Yeah.
So you make a withdrawal request in our system, it actually has to pass through a person. So a person sees the transaction, sees where it's going, match, and then we actually have a biometric process. And also, maliciously, our operations team can't clear certain size transactions without oversight. So we don't have a junior malicious rogue person that can just withdraw everyone's crypto. They can't do it. It's as simple as that. We've got air gaps in our security processes that just don't allow it. And that's a lot of stuff I took out when I was at the casino. We worked in an IT lab. It was 3 floors underground. The server racks are this wide, and guess how wide the doors are? They're this wide. So you physically can't get the racks out the door. You want to move anything on those concierge trolleys that you have in a hotel. Those trolleys are this wide, and guess what? The last frame of the hallway, it's this wide. So the trolleys don't even fit down the hallway of our IT office. So there's really old school way of air gapping stuff. You literally just couldn't get between A and B without being seen or getting through. So we try to copy that mentality a bit. Like, how do you build an air gap that it doesn't matter how much tech there is, they're physically not connected.
Yeah.
It has to go through a thing or a stuff for crypto to move around.
Yeah.
So implemented that very, very early in our journey. And that was something that's always been a prime concern. We always get asked about it.
Okay.
Some other platforms have their own proprietary wallet system, and that's great. It's kind of a black box because how can you say that their system's better than Coinpass's or Kraken's or anyone else's? So we chose to go with the leading provider. They're not cheap, but it's really, really cool tech and it's super secure. And more to the point, even I don't have access to it, which lets me sleep at night. I like sleeping.
Yeah.
Sleeping's cool.
Yeah, because if anything happens,
no, you just can't.
No,
you just,
your head,
it's not even worth it. But on the personal side as well, like we had a who was it? Who had a data leak? We were trialing HubSpot at the time, and it turns out that a lot of crypto companies are using HubSpot. Now they had a data leak from one of their business devs that were looking after like blockchain.
HubSpot, that's a massive.
Yeah, no, it's from
company, isn't it?
Yeah, you can go back and read it. It was something like one of their sales guys got a phishing email or something like that looked like it was from one of his clients. And that one guy or his team looked after like blockchain.com and crypto.com and like 10 other companies. And being CEO of a crypto company, my name's on so many lists. It's ridiculous. We got an email. It was pretty decently worded. Said, we've got all your customer data. We're going to leak it and blah, blah, blah.
They actually just threatened you straight away.
Oh, straight out of the
They weren't even trying to like fish around. No. Just
straight,
like threaten you.
Straight
Wow.
out of the gate. And the trouble was the timing was impeccable because we were doing a blind security audit at the time. So basically work with this company. We work with a different company every year to do security audits and penetration testing, all that kind of stuff. And there's a period of time where you engage with them and then they go basically radio silent for 2 weeks. You can't contact them. Like, is this one of them? I don't know. And so we did our own investigation, literally couldn't find anything. And we're like, cool, just ignore it. And we got another email and then another email. And then I was getting like 60 calls a day from different VoIP numbers all over the world. I think it was just like some automated Amazon service. So I was like, okay. They were trying to access my Instagram, my Twitter, my personal email, an email address I forgot I had.
Wow.
What else? They sent me a text message, which was supposed to look like the front gate of my old flat in Battersea, but they'd obviously just done Google Images. And it's like, no, and literally like a text message, nice house, bro, with like a picture. And I went, well, it's obviously Google Maps, NB, I don't live there anymore. So no, it was...
This is getting crazy.
I know. And then I asked my CTO, I was like, okay, where did these 2 bits of information, they're not on my LinkedIn, they're not anywhere, where did he get it from? And he found that info within like 15 seconds. Okay, fine. So it's findable. Okay, great. So I went through this huge purge, like very impersonal, very self-attacking, crossed a lot of lines, but, and this is where I had to build a lot of emotional stability because there are people out there that just want money, that just may not even want money. They just want to ruin your life.
Yeah.
And I went completely off social media, changed my phone number, changed every password I ever had. And luckily nothing happened. I literally got bored and walked away. But it was a very taxing like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Where I socially regressed quite a lot. And socially isolated quite a lot because we didn't know where this was coming from. Was it a bit of a trick? Was it a blah, 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 blah? And then finally security auditors answer our email. They go, no, it's not us. Cool. Thank you. But no, it was horrible.
That must have been like so crazy and so intense. Literally every day you're just getting bombarded.
Yeah, I mean, there were calls
from random people.
There were like, Papua New Guinea and Norway and North America and China and all these, just numbers from all over the place. And getting like, little prompts at 2 a.m, resetting your Twitter password and accessing your Gmail and your Spotify account and like all this just garbage you don't need as a distraction.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So it's made me really think about my own digital footprint quite a lot. What I need, what I don't need, what emails I use, what I don't use, what you share and what you do online.
Yeah.
I've had my Instagram profile impersonated twice, I think. Where someone downloaded like 2 years of history and then reposted everything. It's photos like me and my mum and stuff.
The Instagram is really, really bad for that now. Like I've been impersonated 2-3 times. Some of my colleagues have as well.
Followers. You got more than me?
I know.
Someone will actually pay to invest money to have a huge amount of followers to try and replicate a profile. That's
and they're using your reputation to get money from people.
I've been picture me in this hoodie on a website promoting a wallet or something like that. I went, no.
That's insane.
But it kind of happens. And I think, you can take it as a complete, abuse of your privacy and your brand or anything like that. Or you can laugh it off and call it like achievement unlocked. I've gotten to a level where people want to impersonate me. So it comes in swings and hits. You've got to have a bit of a thick skin of it.
Yeah.
I think you've got to almost have like a online, not disposable, but like an online personality that you're, kind of happy with, and you got to have a layer of privacy that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Whether it's email, whether it's phone, whether it's WhatsApp or separate work, separate personal, you have to take that shit seriously.
Yeah.
It's like a no joke in this day and age.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's crazy like how people can find your information and just pull it together.
I mean, same as like we're talking on the way in. Do I wear the hoodie everywhere? It's like, well, depends.
Yeah.
I don't tell anyone in public that I do stuff in crypto because I don't know who's listening.
It's true.
Yeah, I've heard of people getting. You might have heard of this really, really sinister. I don't really want to talk about it as a podcast. Someone got his spiked at a was overheard talking about crypto at a pub or a club or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Had his drink spiked, and then they used the Face ID in his phone to unlock his phone. Stole like 50 grand in crypto out of his Coinbase and his.
That's too far. Wow.
Because it's not even pinned anymore. Everyone just uses.
Yeah, you can just use your face. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So it was like in the crashed out in a cubicle after being essentially roofied, and had like 50 grand of crypto.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because all of his wallets, all of his
crazy.
apps. Yeah. So don't use your Face ID and don't use your thumb. Use the old school pin.
Okay, I might go back to
That's
pin. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen the meme of it. Of someone like a girlfriend going through his
Yeah, you can just like that. Yeah.
But yeah, so the Face ID, as cool as it is, don't use it. Old school pin. Don't let anyone touch your phone. Have a separate phone. Have a separate 2FA. Have an email address that's only for crypto and online banking. Stuff like that. It seems over the top, but trust me, it's not.
Yeah.
Not when it's that intense.
Yeah, and it's just increasing.
Yeah, because we're at this point. Like, okay, do we have to divulge this to regulators? That I'm personally under attack, or is it just a bunch of meme?
Yeah, it's hard, right? I don't
the
think
SMSs were even branded. It was like from Red Team. Like, it's not even a random number. It's actually like branded as like an SMS gateway. Like,
oh my god,
serious!
Like, wow, they're very serious.
Yeah, it's scary. Sorry to like derail and like really lower the tone from.
No, it's fine. I think it's important. It's important.
I'd even say if you're just investing as part of your portfolio and you're into crypto and you like Bitcoin, or you like ETH, or you like DeFi, keep it personal. Yeah. Don't be talking about your portfolio on Instagram. Don't be talking about it on social media and stuff. Talk about the topic. Never divulge on how much you're spending, where you're doing it, etc. You're just laying the groundwork to get attacked. Yeah. And you don't have to be a very attractive target. If you can make yourself an unattractive target or a boring target, you'll never get targeted. Yeah. As soon as you're loud about it, you'll have that many people attempting to get a hold of your stuff. Yeah, because you've got a global. You're literally talking to a global audience these days, and crypto is global, whether you know it or not.
It is, yeah. Talking about crypto, how do you feel about the market right now? It's not in its best state.
I don't think any market's in a good state right now.
Yeah, no.
So I think
apart from property seems to be holding up a little bit.
Yeah, because it's not making enough of it. It's what is it, undervalued asset because it's not making more land and they're not making more property. No, I think it's shown really recently how correlated it is with American stock market, UK stock market. There's been a really sharp decline down, and Bitcoin is one of those things. And I think at the moment, as part of a lot of investors' portfolios, crypto is kind of like the jet ski. What happens when you lose your job or lose whatever, and you have a house and all these toys? You start selling all the toys first, and the jet ski is the first thing to go. So the pointy part of the portfolio, the highly leveraged part, or the 1% of your portfolio that is high risk and really volatile, those assets go first, which is crypto. On the flip side of that, people are seeing huge discounts and are buying at a discount or buying the dip. People that were trading it really aggressively are taking a bit more of a slower approach. So instead of trading £1,000 up and down every other time, they're buying 100 quid a week because they're dollar cost averaging, nice and simple. So the market's still really active while prices are down, but prices are down on everything right now. US dollars on a tear. This is the first time we've had a market in crypto that's gone through a huge inflationary period. What is it, 18% here in the UK at the moment. There's a war on. I don't remember a Bitcoin market when there was a war on before. Yeah. So there's a lot of these external macro factors that are affecting the market a lot. I mean, we've been in a downward market since November last year. Yeah. And these downward spirals and these bear markets tend to last between 12 and 13 months. Yeah. So by November, December this year, fingers crossed, not financial advice, we might start to come out the back of it using 2011, 2014, 2017 as an example. We should see some brighter future out of it, hopefully pretty soon. Yeah. But at the same time, the glass half full side of it is that more in the bottom of a bear market or a crypto winter like this, more markets start looking at infrastructure or crypto payment rails as an opportunity to expand their business. Because it's down, not many people looking at it. What's the opportunity? Does it work? Can we trial it? And you start to get interests of different pockets of different sectors of businesses. So we've started talking with law firms. We've started talking with accountancy firms. We're talking with a massive property firm here in the UK that they just want to start taking their fees in crypto for the, when you pay your estate agent 1% for selling your property and stuff like that, because they have a lot of investors that have property and crypto, and they go, well, can I pay for my, they're making a bunch of yield on USDC or USDT, and they go, can I pay my fees in stablecoin? They go, well, I don't know. So I get a call saying, can we do this? I'm like, yeah, sure, sign up an account, it takes 2 hours.
Yeah.
And they go, well, okay, what about if we wanted to list a property for Bitcoin? I said, yeah, you can do that. Are they going to pay for it in cash or crypto? And now they're like, well, what else can we do? And their mind starts doing this. And I'm just like, well, okay, let's just get an account signed up. Let's do a plan for you. Let's,
Interesting.
And they're not even really worried about the volatility bit, because they can just build that into a process, or they can find the right buyer and the right seller. But more people are interested in using crypto as a peer-to-peer payment system, as an additional as an additional payment rail, because banking is too slow.
Yeah.
Even in 2022, banking is too slow.
Wow.
There's a law firm here. They represent like 150 crypto funds in the British Virgin Islands. They have offices here. They've got offices in Munich, offices in New York. And purely all these crypto funds want to pay for their fees in crypto. We just want the facility, because if we don't keep their business, they'll go somewhere else. So now we're helping businesses retain their client base and level up the way that they do business in a completely legitimate way. There's nothing illegal about it. There's no money laundering. It's a faster way of dealing with clients from all over the world. Because you can take a payment in any denomination in 2 minutes from any client anywhere.
Wow.
And it's not like, did you get my bank transfer? It's like, show me the transaction ID. My deposit, we get this on our support desk all the time. My Bitcoin deposit hasn't landed. Send us a transaction ID. It's stuck in the mempool, or the place they're sending it from hasn't released it yet. So we don't even have to challenge them on it. You can see the transaction in real time, and it's immutable. No one can ever mess with it. And that's kind of the beauty of it.
Wow.
A lot of these companies can see these payments in real time. They know exactly where it's coming from. They can do all the due diligence they want. They can see if the wallet's clean, if it's dirty, if it's ever touched a scam, if it's ever, all that kind of stuff is very easy to see in real time, and we help them do that.
And that is the beauty of crypto. Where do you think the future of it is?
Future of it is when it's like your Apple iPhone, and you don't have to know all the technical bits underneath it. It just works. And that's going to be from messages that we send, from having your digital ID available across, like at the moment, you can have like Spotify works on every single device anywhere, and it's just seamless, right? Your ID or your debit card or your whatever you use for payments will be usable in every single app, regardless who built it. It's just going to be a standard. A single form of ID, a single type of debit card, a single type of payment rail, a single wallet with every asset you own, every token you own, pound, sterling, euros, US dollars, everything's going to be in one place. And it's going to look like an Apple iWallet or something like that. That's where the UX level is going to be. On the back side of that, there'll be this kind of permissioned system where you own your funds. They're not locked in a Starling account or a Monzo account that can be frozen at any time. Your assets are going to be belonging to you, and no one can touch them. No one can take them. And you'll be able to represent your net worth in real time. I was trying to go for a mortgage last year, and then they go, oh, any proceeds from crypto they won't accept. And I'm like, well, that sucks. Why?
Really?
Yeah. And okay, we'll define proceeds. So there will be a time and place where crypto is more highly accepted than it is right now. But I also see, and this has already happened in the United States, which is probably the most amazing example I've seen of Bitcoin use. Is I had this question on Twitter today. Is like, will you sell your Bitcoin when it gets to 100 grand? I went, no. Why would you create a massive capital gain and tax problem? But there are already platforms out there where you can use crypto as collateral to get credit to invest in other assets. So you basically, I think there was a property firm in Miami, and it was minimum 250,000. So you had to have 250,000 worth of Bitcoin. They would give you 100% mortgage over 30 years. And the Bitcoin is held in an escrow where you have one key, the property business that issues the mortgage has one key, and the solicitor has one key. So you have to have all three keys together to move the crypto. So you deposit 250 grand worth of Bitcoin at the current price. They issue you 100% mortgage for a property, and you just pay the mortgage down. It's 100%, not a 5% deposit. You're basically 100% collateralized. and you can get a full condo worth whatever it is, right? You just got to pay the mortgage down over 30 years. So if you're holding crypto now and you're a long-term investor, what I foresee is that because of its inherent properties, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever it's going to be, the fact that it can see where it's come from, it can see the history of it, it has intrinsic value because of its proof of work and everything else, you'll be able to collateralize that crypto asset into some sort of vehicle or into some sort of product to attain other assets or to attain credit or to buy art or lease a car or buy a property or fund a business.
Yeah.
You know, you'll be able to use it as the hardest form of money because there's not enough to go around.
Yeah.
There are over 25 million millionaires in the world. There's only 21 million Bitcoin and 18.9 million of them are already accounted for.
Yeah.
There is not enough to go around.
No, there isn't.
There isn't. So use that pure thing alone. This is what I challenge people. Just buy £100. Just try it once. Understand what a wallet is. Move a bit of Bitcoin from here to here. Pay the damn fee. And just understand. If you do that, you will be part of the next 1 to 2% of wealth in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
If you take it seriously and if you don't treat it like a hobby.
Yeah.
You treat it like a hobby, you get hobby results. You treat it like a business or like part of your portfolio, you can grow it and understand it. It's not rocket science.
And do you think Bitcoin will still reign supreme in the future?
I think it will for quite a long time.
Yeah.
It's got the longest track record.
Yeah.
You know, it's got over 11, 12 years now. 12 years. It's got a 99.999% uptime. Other blockchains have got up and downs and they've got lots of developers and foundations and this. It's the one that's been out there the longest and has survived as a purely decentralized, hardest form of money. It was coded 12 years ago and it still hasn't been kind of broken. You know, people have spent a considerable amount of time and money trying to break it and it hasn't happened. Miners have popped up in China, created these massive pools of ASCII miners to run the network, and then they get shut down and they move somewhere else. So the network is constantly being added to and constantly subtracted, but it doesn't go down. And that's actually quite an amazing feat when you think about it. It's not based on Amazon. It's not based in Google. These are hardware facilities running off power, off big infrastructure, big investment, and the network still doesn't go down.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter how much government intervention there is. It cannot be taken offline. And it cannot be changed and forked and everything because you cannot control more than 50% of the network. It's, let's not say physically, but it would be financially impossible to try and outmine the rest of the network to try and gain control.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a really interesting feat where, you know, even the US government can't topple it. Russia can't topple it. China can't topple it. It's still around and now people want it.
Yeah. People want it. Bitcoin's been on an amazing journey, and in that time, obviously, we've had Ethereum, we've had NFTs. What are your thoughts on NFTs?
Concept, amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even know what an NFT was until 12, 18 months ago. I actually thought when I sold my superbike back in 2019, I can't remember. And I thought, why don't I just tokenize it and I'll sell the token to someone, and I'm just selling it to someone on Facebook. It was easier. No, the concept of a non-fungible token to represent something, that's probably what all of our documentation will be in the future. Your rental agreement, your ticket to a show, collectibles, the RFID for an official pair of Nike, all that stuff will be some form of token. And being a non-fungible token, a 1 of 1, a 1 of 10, a 1 of 1,000, it is probably the next form of how we digitize assets, how we represent them. I've seen some amazing examples of NFTs that are so cool and so slick, and then we've got digital rocks, JPEGs worth 2 million. That's not a good example. Big shout out to the Blacks Club here in London.
Yeah.
They took over a club in Soho. If you're around, I'll take you there one day.
Yeah.
And it's an event Friday night, actually.
Okay.
They had the opportunity to take over the lease and everything. So they wanted to fundraise taking over this lease and make it a bit of a crypto den. And it's like 3 stories high. It's awesomely laid out. And they go, well, we'll sell memberships, like London club memberships are everywhere, but they go, we'll sell a lifetime membership as an NFT. There won't be a list on the door and whoever holds the NFT gets access. So it's a membership. NFT is a membership. Great idea. say I go out of the country for 6 months, I can send you my NFT and you can use the club membership, or I could sell it on OpenSea, or I could all that. It's the ownership. It's a club membership as a digital token. Works perfectly.
Yeah.
I've seen another example on a platform up in Manchester, and it's for artwork pieces, but real life artwork pieces. So the artist will do one painting, take a photo of it, and he'll issue 25 NFTs. Every time an NFT is bought, he'll paint that one identity basis, does 25 originals, and each original is tied to an NFT, and that's how he just pre-funds all of his work. He sells 25 NFTs, and he paints the same thing 25 times over 2 months.
Wow.
That's how he makes a living. So he uses it as a lead generation and a distribution platform, because he sells 25 NFTs for £1,500 each, but they're getting an original piece of work from a very well-known artist, and that's how he makes his money.
Okay.
And he sells the Ethereum back into pounds, and that's how he runs his life.
Wow.
And he's getting customers that he never had before. Sells it to gallery. Someone's like, well, can I buy it and show it off? And this is now the gallery has proof of ownership. Someone buys from the gallery, they get the NFT as well.
Yeah.
So it's a digital representation. Digital representation of real world assets is going to be the main key factor.
Yeah.
And it will avoid all that kind of crap that went down in France when Liverpool played down there, and there's like all these fake tickets and what was it?
Imagine you could just scan it as an NFT. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know what a Liverpool in France and Paris ticket looks like.
I mean, it's just a paper ticket.
It's a bit of paper, but how do you know it's genuine? There was scalpers in front of the stadium selling forgeries.
Yeah.
And people just...
They would know. You can't tell, right?
They were really good.
You're not an expert in...
No, I'm not.
Ticket
I've been to 4 football games in 12 years. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I go with someone else that knows better than me. But having, it's digital. I can see who issued it. It goes back to a smart contract. The smart contract's been audited. Give it a Twitter green tick if you want to.
Yeah.
But that's what I think our, tickets and documentation and, connections to real world, that's how they'll be tracked.
Yeah.
And you can issue them in digital and digitally issue them for pretty much nothing, especially after this Ethereum merge that's going to happen pretty soon as well. It's going to become more scalable, easier to distribute. Wallets are going to get better. UX is going to get better. Security is going to get better.
Yeah. I'm
pretty sure it'll just be you have all your tickets on your phone, because there is no alternative.
Yeah.
There is no paper tickets anymore. And if you lose access to it, you can restore it with your retina or your thumbprint or whatever. It's just the UI hasn't caught up enough.
Yeah.
To make it easier. It's still a bit tech-centric and a bit nerdy.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what that world looks like. I'm such a futurist when it comes to things like that. I think I do agree with NFTs. I think there are some
there's good and bad
real world
examples.
uses. Yeah,
there's good and bad examples.
Yeah.
Now, there was a bubble. We could all see the bubble coming.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I had a shower replaced in my flat, and I was unfortunately wearing this hoodie. I shouldn't have been. Security, all that kind of bit. And he's like, "Oh, Coinpass, I know that exchange." I'm like, oh, okay. And then the plumber started pitching me his NFT project. I'm like, yeah, peak bubble, bro. Yeah, when the plumber is, he's like, yeah, it's gonna be called Toxic Zombies. We're gonna do 10,000 artworks. I'm like, wow, good for you.
Gosh,
yeah,
good for you.
It's like when the taxi drivers pitching an ICO. That's when it's time to get.
Yeah, it's time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, oh, tell me more. He's like, give me a website, and he's like, oh wow, he's Twitter following. Oh god.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
everybody's just trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
So if a beginner wants to, they're hearing this, they say, okay, it's great. I want to get into crypto. I've been scared to get into crypto, but now I want to get into it. What tips would you give them?
Start small and have a thirst for learning. It's not. It's portrayed as really complex, but you need to boil it down. Start with call it your gamble money, call it your party money, call it whatever you want, but don't never invest more than you're willing to lose.
Yeah.
Whether you send it to a bad address, or you pay too much for a fee, or you buy it and the price goes down, you need to be emotionless about it. You need to treat it like a business.
Yeah.
And I would say, if you can afford to get 1 or 2 coffees a month, or go out to dinner a few times a month, you can afford to buy £100 of Bitcoin. I say £100 because when it's like 10, 5, 50, you kind of don't care. Nice even round number like 100, everyone can do that. Using a platform in your host country. So if you're in the UK, you can use us. If you're in Europe, there's plenty to choose from. But your bank will not give you a hard time if you're not sending pounds like offshore. So if you use a platform in Europe and you're based in the UK, the bank for that platform might be in Lithuania or in Latvia or wherever. As soon as you start sending pounds offshore, your bank will not have a problem with it, but you might get questioned, or is this a scam, or blah, blah. Use something that's registered in your country. you won't have a problem. So don't worry about your bank account being blown up. It won't happen.
Yeah.
Buy that first £100, either leave it in the platform and watch the price go up and down a little bit. Don't check it every single hour. It's not going to happen. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight. And then even send it to another platform or send it to your wallet on your phone, or understand how to use that QR code for a wallet address. Understand what the wallet address actually means in sending and receiving stuff back and forth. It's not expensive to send crypto between wallets, but just build that understanding and that knowledge. What I say, one of our marketing campaigns is get crypto confident.
Yeah.
Get confident in crypto, get confident in, what a blockchain is, but you don't need to be a developer.
Yeah.
You don't need to understand every SegWit and every 1 and 0. That's not what it's about. It's about having part of your financial freedom outside of the existing financial system and onto the new Web3 financial system. I found it quite invigorating holding my ledger around my collar, or around my neck when I passed through San Francisco on the way to Australia. And you had to fill out the little import cards. Are you carrying more than $10,000 US? I'm like, dollars? No. Crypto? Undefined.
Yes.
And they could probably they can take that device off me if they want to. They can't open it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give them the PIN.
Yeah.
They can't transact on it. That crypto is locked on that private wallet, and I'm the only one that can unlock it.
Yeah.
No bank can take it off me. No government can take it off me. No one can brute force attack the wallet address and try and take the funds out. Those are locked, and I'm self-sovereign with my wealth, and I can take that anywhere with me. 24 hours a day.
It's epic.
And it's, and you start thinking about that. I had a really awkward conversation at a networking event, and so where I'm from, blah, blah. We started talking, and she didn't, explain Bitcoin to me in 2 minutes, and this is this. And she said the same thing. What do you think, the stock market's going to be in like 10 years time? Is it's going to be, you'll be able to move any, you'll be able to move any stock and share to any platform anywhere in the world. At the moment, you want to move your stocks and shares from your Hargreave Lansdown to your Ameritrade account or whatever it is. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to sell it into pounds. You have to take it to your bank account. You have to realize all your gains. You have to pay tax on it. Then you can open them up over here. Some pension funds might move them in between, but very rarely. Whereas I can buy Bitcoin and I can move it to any number of 300 exchanges anywhere in the world, and I can trade them against any other asset I want in real time, 24 hours a day. So the current stock market system is going to die, and it's going to be replaced with a blockchain system. And tell me, so what do you do? I work at the London Stock Exchange. I'm like, I kind of put my foot in my mouth a little bit, but she was cool. No, but she was like kind of blown. Like, so wait, you can move digital value and you can move a store of value anywhere in the world in like under 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
She didn't know that.
Yeah. No, she didn't know.
Wow.
She goes, but that must be expensive. It was 5, 10, 15p. I was like, well, what if it's like 50 million? I'm like, yeah, you're just using the network.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much. It's not based on basis points or percentages. You pay to use the network. If the network's clogged up, yeah, you might want to pay a higher fee. If you're happy for it to happen in 20 minutes or tomorrow, you could pay a very tiny fee. And that's where you see these cool tweet posts, like someone moved, 100 million worth of Bitcoin for 5 cents.
Wow.
And you're just using the network. If you're using something like Google or your bank and it's free, it's because you're the product. They use your money or your data for some way to monetize it. You pay to use a blockchain network on Ethereum, on Bitcoin. You pay the fee to use it. It's a decentralized network. It's pay to play.
Yeah.
And I think having that bit of a mindset, I will pay $1 to move these assets from A to B.
Yeah.
Because I don't need a bank and I can do it in my time and I can choose how fast I want it to get there. And the assets are mine at all times. That's very, liberating for a lot of people. Yeah. Especially in places in different parts of the world where they don't have any banking, Yeah.
Super, super, super important. And you're absolutely right. The places where I guess they're calling them unbanked right now.
I was unbanked when I came to London.
Yeah.
Took me 2 months to open a bank account here.
Yeah.
I was pulling money out of the ATM using my Aussie card. I got absolutely ripped.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't prove where I lived because I didn't have a tenancy agreement. Didn't have a tenancy agreement because I didn't have a bank account. Couldn't get a bank account because there was just this repetitive
There's
cycle.
a lot. Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
From Australia, it's like we have like fridges and electricity there and I can't have, I couldn't prove anything. It was horrible. I was pulling cash out via credit card because I was living on cash for 2 months. And this is in London, in one of the financial centers of the world. Yeah. How bad is it here versus other parts of like in Asia and Africa and parts of South America?
Yeah.
they've got smartphones and 4G towers and all this great stuff, and they are choosing crypto by default now because it's better and easier and fair.
Yeah.
All the stuff that happened in like was it Petro? Was it Argentina with the oil? Petrobit?
I'm trying to remember which one it was.
And they were using Dash, Litecoin, and Bitcoin because their local currency was devaluing so fast, and they couldn't get US dollars in the black market. So everyone just reverted to crypto because everyone had a smartphone, everyone could download a free wallet, and you could transact with anyone peer to peer in a minute.
That's crazy.
How do you compete with that? You can't compete.
Tough.
You cannot compete with
that.
it. So the old world is going to get a systemic shock when more people start choosing crypto over the others. And there was this big debate in 2017 when all the ICOs were out, it's a blockchain that's faster than Visa or faster than this and blah, 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 blah. We're going to outrank all the big guys. Like, no, the big guys are going to sit back. They're going to chill for a bit. They're going to look at the tech. They're going to start absorbing all the good engineers because they have all the money and all the experience and all the infrastructure. And one day Visa will just add Bitcoin to their service. And guess what? Now Visa has a Bitcoin blockchain wallet built into their merchant system. So every merchant now, soon, that is on the Visa network, 60 million merchants, whatever it is, will be able to take a Bitcoin payment inside of the existing infrastructure. When it's serious when the big boys start to join the newest tech. Yeah. And that's what's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because I remember when I got into Bitcoin end of 2017, and there was no institutions behind it. No, they were not interested. And so many of them, even though the price is down, a lot of them are more and more interested in Bitcoin. And Ethereum.
So Bitcoin's the daddy. It's the Ford Model T. It's the kind of the OG, and it will always be there. Ethereum, with all its updates going through the merge, it's about to have 99% of its carbon footprint reduced, moving to proof of stake. So it's going to be more secure. It's going to be a bit faster. It's going to be more scalable. And it just kind of works. Most of the good stuff is built on Ethereum. But there'll be a blockchain for specific use cases, whether it's something in finance or something on supply chain or digital ID or whatever. But it won't really matter because if you have a really cool tech layer on the front, a really good UX, those UXs will talk with many different blockchains for different things. Some will be slow, some will be fast, some will be for this, some will be that. But I think the last time I touched, I've actually got physical cash on me now, which is really rare because they won't cash out to your bank account at the Hippodrome, so you have to take cash. But I remember I went through London, Zurich, into America, into Australia, and back, and I didn't touch a single bit of currency for 2 months.
Wow.
Everything digital, everything connected to my wallets and Ubers and Airbnbs, and I didn't have to touch any of that stuff. And that's just, we're at a Web 2 level now. Going to Web 3, it's going to be even better.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to it. I'm always glass halfway full, regardless what the price is, because the price is relevant. The price is just an accumulation method and a way of keeping track of it. But the more US dollars keep getting printed, the more valuable Bitcoin will become. The more clients want to take payments from all over the world, the more, the easier it is to accept USDC, USDT, stablecoins, whatever it's going to be. More and more people are starting to do it. Yeah. It's already happening.
Yeah.
So you can focus on the price if you want, and you can accumulate and blah, 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 blah. Or you can go and launch a business in crypto very quickly, very scalably, and have clients all over the world. Yeah. It's completely possible now with the tools that are out there.
That's insane. It's been so great having you here today. It's been so insightful. I haven't spoken with somebody about crypto for a long, long time, and it's always great to speak to somebody who is actually in the business, who is living, breathing it every day, who's going through the ups and who's going through the downs, and you speak about it so passionately, even though we're in a bear market at the moment, but there's so much to be excited about, just like in 2017.
Yeah, so it can get a bit overloaded at times. I think it's where you put your focus, and that's where I think we talked about your social circles and stuff like that. Having a good group of people that can separate the good from the bad and the chaff from the noise and etc. Twitter's a minefield, Instagram's a minefield, YouTube, geez, there's some garbage out there. Knowing where good quality content comes from, the stuff you put into your brain, doing your own research, knowing what's a scam, what's not, if it's too good to be true, if there's a red flag, etc. And I think just talking to people in person.
Yeah.
Getting 2 or 3 people around a table, enjoying a drink. If you want to go to the pub and do it, you go to a place, a park, doesn't matter. Having your little safety circle and pitching ideas to each other.
Yeah.
Some guys got countless business ideas and don't have time to fund them.
Yeah.
Guys that have got a really, really great tech idea, but have no one to co-found them with.
Yeah.
A lot of those ideas come from your network. And I think if you really want to get involved and learn something, go to a meetup, go to a Bitcoin meetup, go to an Ethereum meetup, and you'll meet some amazingly friendly people that are really smart, that know pretty much everything. But it's everyone's goal in crypto to bring more people in.
Yeah.
You stay away from the toxic crowd, you find a good crowd. We're all trying to bring more people in. The bigger the market, the better it is for everyone. So that's one thing that every crypto person has in common, is we're trying to get more people in.
Yeah. Wow. And so what do you have next planned for yourself personally and with the business?
So with the business, we've had a lot of people asking, the collapse of Celsius recently showed a really big part of the market that some people want to be lazy investors. They want to buy and hold it and get some yield, and that's great. But there's 2 different types. There's the centralized exchange, which is a black box, and you give them your assets and they can do whatever the hell they want. Super dangerous. Then you got the other side of it, which is completely on-chain, so staking at proper DeFi. So we want to build some DeFi products and some staking products. We're going to start with Ethereum, Cardano, Tezos, Solana, that kind of stuff, where you stake it. It's on-chain. You can see it. We're not setting the interest rate, which is dangerous. The interest rate's based on what's on-chain. Make it very, very easily. We want to build some one-click portfolios. So we had a lot of business investors or institutional investors. How do you make crypto look like my ISA?
Yeah.
How do you make it look like my SIP account? How do you give me a bit of a breakdown on what's doing what? So we're going to build some self-adjusting kind of portfolios and stuff that kind of readjust every 30 days, 60 days, whatever. Trying to make crypto look like the existing finance system, but better. So those are kind of some of the products we want to build. Getting the yield stuff up is really important. Helps our balance sheet as well. It's good for revenue, but we want to kind of pivot a little bit from being just an exchange to being more like a wealth creation platform, a wealth growth platform in crypto. That's where we really want to get to. Me personally, I think expanding to a few more countries would be cool. Not just to travel a bit more, but obviously get more exposure for the brand. I haven't really thought much further than that, actually.
Okay.
One of my little tick box goals. I want to play in a very major poker tournament on TV.
Okay.
Made it to the second round of the World Poker Tour in Australia last time I was there.
Wow.
Not final table, but I made it. It was 1,000 entrants. I got down about 350 or something like that. Wow. So goal for next time is making it to the top 100. I want to take my poker career a little bit further, but apart from that, is just have the ability to travel when I want. See the people I want to see, and obviously make cool content with this, like this, with as many people as possible. Okay,
wow, yeah, and of course we'll try to help you out with as much as that. And where can people find you?
www.coinpass.com.
Yeah.
Either on LinkedIn or Twitter. They're probably my 2 main hangouts.
Yeah.
If you have a question, have something you've invested in you weren't sure about, or something that might be cool to talk about, definitely hit us up. We always go for a content first kind of marketing strategy, talking about the market, some stuff about price, protecting yourself online, etc. And just trying to add value. I don't think there are any stupid questions at this part.
There's not in crypto.
There's not.
We're all trying to learn.
Definitely not.
I think it's important.
Always trying to look out for rug pulls. Trying to not protect people from themselves, but how to make better decisions. Really.
Yeah. 100% in crypto is definitely super important. And do you have a final word for the listeners, watchers as well?
Yeah, I suppose just our main marketing campaign, just get crypto confident. That's the best bit.
I love that.
Is have a thirst for learning, even if it's just you want to focus just on Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's enough. Learning those 2 alone will give you so much insight. I think I've learned more about finance in the last 5 years from crypto than from before that.
Wow.
Knowing well, this is cool and this is possible. Why is this broken thing over here so slow? Oh, because that's how they make all their money. They make so much money, like banking and financial services, they make so much money out of being middlemen and keeping it to themselves. But now you've got this huge, open, transparent, open source environment that everyone's contributing to. Let's just do more of this. This is cool over here. I want to live over here.
Yeah.
And be just ready to have your mind blown.
Yeah. Love that. Like I was saying, it's so great to have a conversation with somebody who is involved in crypto and who's passionate about it. I think I would say young people, more and more of them are getting into crypto. I think a lot of them are a bit worried about it, but they are definitely seeing it. They do think it's a little bit complicated, but like you said, I think there's going to be a time where it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not on the Wall Street Bets Reddit. But I mean, it is one of my wallpapers about it. Those guys do know how to party. I think growing up now with, I'm trying to think back when I was 18 and stuff like that, and I'd come out of high school, couldn't get to uni. We just went straight into a job, and I was not thinking about investing in finances and stuff like that, but it was a different world back then. I remember when fuel was like 60p a litre and stuff like that. It was mental. And I think now with, cost of living has grown hugely over the last 10 years, but wages are pretty similar.
Yeah.
A 25k wage does not leave you that much spare change anymore. Yeah. I think people are genuinely concerned now in their early 20s about what their financial future looks like in their mid 30s. Some people are going into a job market right now. If they have any student debt, I mean, that's savage. Having to live paycheck to paycheck is scary. I've done it. It's scary. And I managed to do a little bit of travel, but I couldn't get a credit card the first 4 years I've been in the UK. I've only been here 12. Because I just couldn't get anywhere. But having that much restriction when you're in your early life, and some people like, I will not buy a house till I'm 40. I will not be able to buy a house till I'm 50, or I'll never buy one ever, because it's so far out of reach with how they're restricted in not just their financial opportunity, but their financial education.
Yeah.
They don't teach you about tax. They don't teach you about starting a business. They don't teach you about being self-employed.
No.
They don't teach you how to expense anything or how to read a balance sheet. These really key core skills are being left so far behind. They're seeing crypto as an opportunity to try and level up faster in time, because you can take a lot more risk when you're younger. Doesn't matter if you lose 5k in your early 20s, who cares? You can make that money again.
You can make it again, yeah, exactly,
But they see more of an uplift in risking 5k, because you put 5k into an investment now that might do 5 or 7% a year or whatever it is. It's going to take 20 years to double.
Yeah.
It's absolutely mental, and they don't have that kind of time. Job market's kind of crap. You're now competing with remote work. You're competing with people all over the world. Doesn't look that attractive to go and get a 5-year degree just to get a basic job. So no, they've got a bad deal. Right.
Very bad deal.
Very bad deal.
Very, very bad deal.
So, and I think you can either, be depressed about it and do nothing and just go and do the norm like everyone else, or you add a bit of risk to your life and do a bit of crypto and try a bit of trading and try as many things as you can and find something that works.
Yeah.
Or there's so many opportunities online. There's Amazon businesses, and there's other marketing bits and freelancing, and there's so many more opportunities now than there was when I was in my early 20s. It was bricks and mortar jobs, and that was kind of it.
Yeah.
Freelancers were like your musicians and your artists and stuff like that, but now you could be a freelance anything, So I think the opportunities are out there to do it, and if you can add any sort of crypto layer to it, then you're leveling ahead of everyone else.
Yeah. Completely agree. I was having this conversation with my wife actually as well, that I wish that I took more risks when I was younger. I feel like that is the time. And like you said, we don't get taught. Actually, when you're younger, take all the risks in the world. Don't just, of course, if you want to go and get a full-time job, that's fine. But maybe try to do something new all the time at that point.
But double it down. And I think everyone should have a side hustle no matter what it is. You need 3 hobbies. 1 to keep you creative, 1 to keep you fit, and 1 to make you money.
Yeah.
And those are the 3 things you should do. There's nothing wrong with the occasional video game or concert or whatever it is. You need to give your brain time off.
Yeah.
But I see why more people are turning to crypto or NFTs, whatever it is now, because they need an edge and they're finding it in crypto.
Yeah. Love that. And that is a great way to end the podcast. Thank you, Jeff, so much for blessing us actually with the opportunity to speak with somebody from inside the crypto world and giving us a glimpse of what the future's like. It's very, very exciting. And listeners,
I can't wait. Maybe we'll come back in a year and we'll see what the market's doing.
Yeah, it'll be crazy to see what it's like.
We'll do like August, September next year. And we'll be like, oh yeah, it's even worse now. Or no, we cut and do a new edit. It's even better than it was. That'd be cool.
Oh, that would be so awkward, but we'll see what happens.
No, thank you for inviting me down. It's been a lot of good fun.
No, you're very, very welcome, and I'll definitely take you up on that offer in a year. Listeners, thank you so much for listeners, and watchers, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Takeoff Experience. And yeah, we'll see you next week.